Good afternoon. It's Jamie Kay with a little bit of that and a little bit of this. Well, I'm tired of people slamming on Trump. So we're going on that today. I have been all over the news listening to networks slam him about his first 100 days, slam him about this, slam him about that. But he wasn't raised in politics. He didn't go to, school. He wasn't being groomed to be a politician. He was groomed to be a businessman. And he has signed more bills than anybody in the first 10 days of their presidency. 10 days, a small window. 10 days he's done his oath, said what he was going to do, and started acting on it. And signed a bunch of bills, which nobody wants to seem to bring to light, like the news, on the bills that he's signed. Now, Obama couldn't even sign this many bills. And the sad part is with all the bills that Trump is signing and all the business deals, I have a question. I don't remember any politician from any other country calling a president and saying, hey, can we have a conversation? But it was really funny how a lot of countries called him to congratulate him on being the president. Because he won. Because he won the people's hearts and souls. And the reason he won these hearts and souls is because we, as Americans who have jobs every day, some of us have 2 jobs, some of us have 3 jobs, some of us have 4 jobs. And the reason we have so many jobs is because Obama and crew and Bush and Clinton and all of the other predecessors of Donald Trump has watched our businesses go out the door, have watched them leave, have watched our wages being frozen where we can't even feed our kids, have watched the food stamps being handed out left and right, left and right. And then we have all of the people coming in from different cultures and different countries. Now they want to be fed, they need housing. Well, it was really weird how Fannie Mae was going to release a list of houses that was to hit the market. That list just magically disappeared. You go to a place called Job Placement, or wherever, you go up, you go fill out this paperwork, and these people will help you find a job. Okay, well, the thing is that these jobs were disappearing. Except certain jobs were being kept under the table for certain people in certain places. If you haven't noticed, in some of our schools, I'm sorry, why is there not an American teacher in front of my kids teaching school? And why is my child coming home knowing more about Muslim religion than American religion? There's your question. Now, you have these families who have came across the border illegally and applied for welfare, and they got it. Well, the last time I heard or checked, you had to have a birth certificate, a driver's license, a social security number. Where did they get the information to get these food stamps and Section 8 housing? That Trump is now saying no more. And so is Ben Carson saying no more. Because those of you who love Obama so much didn't realize that you were being turned away from food stamps yourself and from Medicaid and from housing because the list was so long. Why was the list so long? Well, when you have a Muslim man that can marry 4 wives, how many children does that produce? Sitting on Section 8. Sitting at a table with food stamps with a glass full of soda. The major drink button by people on food stamps. Now, there are certain groups that have decided food stamps is a free ticket to selling. I think it's like 5 cents on the dollar, maybe 25 cents. I don't know. It's going up somewhere, I'm sure. but you sell your food stamps. Donald Trump is trying to stop this. So yes, he is coming down on the fact that people who are in Section 8 housing should not be in Section 8 housing. Instead, somebody who is a military man and woman should be in that housing. A family member should be in that housing that is a true American and that actually is trying to do better by their family to get ahead in life. But the list of housing was held back. Thank you to Donald Trump. That list and Ben Carson is now being looked at. There was a whole lot of fraud going on in the welfare system. Across the food stamp system, I think they all should be drug tested. I'm sorry, if you're being drug tested at, your job, I think Congress needs to be drug tested. I think the Senate needs to be drug tested. Everybody needs to be drug tested. Now, as for the drug testing, hey, that is your decision on what you feel and how you feel about it. Me personally, take it off the books, get rid of it, let it go. There's no need for it anymore. Because we all know the truth about medical marijuana. We've seen what it does and we see how it acts. Donald Trump is signing bills more to do business with other companies. Now, if you don't think this man is a businessman, I want you to do a walk of all of the things that he has accomplished. He has kept businesses in America. He has gotten more people back to work. He has gotten the stock market to go up while Obama got it to go down. And when we had those vultures in office, the stock market just kept going down and down. Obama drew a line. Drew a line here. They walked up to it, looked at it, and crossed it and laughed. Then he drew another line. They walked up to it, crossed it, and laughed. Donald Trump is doing what a businessman does. He's also fighting a hill of people who have gotten used to sitting on their asses and giving themselves raises at our expense, people. Yes, our expense. Our expense is how much does it cost to keep the Senate running all night long to tell a bedtime story of Sam, I Am, and green eggs and ham? Why are we always hearing about the government shutdown? Why are they shutting it down? As far as I'm concerned, the congressmen and the senators should be ponying up a good portion of their money, but they're not. They should be getting behind our president, but they're not. The reason they're not getting behind the president is because guess why? Because it's not to their advantage when they have made promises and now they have to keep these promises. Like, where's our uranium? Donald Trump said, you ain't getting it. There's one. Donald Trump is cleaning out the trash called the Liars Club. Now, the Liars Club has lied and passed bills that were not in our favor. Instead, they were not for the Americans. Instead, he'd rather smuggle money out of the country in the middle of the night, in the dark hour of the night, draw lines in the sand, and tell us Americans that us Christians need to bow down to a new way of life and a new way of order of life. Donald Trump is trying to get rid of these people because they're not good for our economy, they're not good for our business, and they're not good for our children. We do not need our children in Common Core walking around who can't even do 2 and 2 is 4, and that's that. See, if you teach history to our children, we'll learn from our mistakes. We'll know that the Constitution is our right and a privilege to have. Donald Trump is trying to bring all of this back, and what he is doing instead is fighting a hill of asshole, self-centered, egotistical people who want to give themselves more raises, who want to open up every border and say come in by the thousands. And by the thousands, he means the Muslims and the Mexicans who are all here illegally, who are collecting our welfare, our food stamps, who are collecting our Medicaid, our Social Security, our disability. You take all of them people off, and how much money do you think Donald Trump has just now saved America? Think about it. Truthfully and honestly. Think about all the people that our wonderful person is doing right now in the HUD housing. He's found a lot of dirty, nasty little secrets that these houses were being given to people who did not deserve them. People who are not true Americans. Instead, what he did was he opened up a system of putting everybody on the welfare, jobs going out, nothing coming in. Everybody was happy watching the news by telling themselves, if I put my head in the sand and I go to work every day, things will change. Things changed. They got worse. Our kids are dropping out of school. Our kids can't even spell. Half of them can't even fill out a job application. That's pretty sad. The other sad part is watching and seeing how our children are being dumbed down to the point where they have little pictures of, I'm happy, I'm sad, and let me take a picture of my dinner. Let me take a picture of myself, because it's a selfie hour, of being stark-ass naked in the middle of the street doing my butt-ass cheek clap-clap, and have my kids videotape it because I think it's cute. Not cute. See, Donald Trump is trying to bring back jobs. He's trying to bring back education. He is trying to bring back an America that I grew up with. We bought American products. We stood by what we sold. We didn't have to worry about the airbags of the Takani company drawing them back because they knew they were all busted and broken, but yet put in cars. We didn't have car recalls back then like we do now. We were all buying American back then, but now we buy products from China, Japan, Haiti, Tahiti, from other countries. We have basically not given our children anything responsible to do except be bubbled heads walking around with emos and saying, I can't go to class because Hillary didn't win. Hillary didn't win, thank God, because the last of what was left of this nation would have been gone, flushed down the toilet. We'd have a bunch of doped up, drugged up kids and adults running around. And the pharmaceutical companies would be getting rich. And so would all the networks. And Donald Trump is trying to take us away from that. He wants you to open a business. He wants us as women to succeed. For all you women who think that Donald Trump is against you, no, he's not. If you want to know who's against you, you better think about what you were about to put in office. Donald Trump is just putting light where it needs to be shined on Americans, on people who really believe in God, people who really believe that jobs belong here. I'm sorry, walking past a military man in the middle of the winter with very little on him, and knowing that there's an illegal in somebody's house where that man could be staying. But instead, our men and women get sent off to somebody else's wars. They lose their arm, they lose their leg. Obama didn't care, and Hillary, she didn't give a flying fuck. And neither do the congressmen and the senators, because guess what? It's not their child going to war, it's ours. And the sad part is those who wanted the Hillary and the Obamas and the Senator Cheneys and you know the rest, thank you for taking America down to the lowest level in life. Thank you to the networks who have done nothing but lie, and Donald Trump is now showing you exactly who they are. We already know one network that's going down, and that would be Fox Family. We all know who owns them. Yes. See, people, Donald Trump is bringing to light the corporates. Have you got your beaten from the airport today? Have you gotten on your plane and kicked off because you went to the bathroom? Did you get kicked off today because you looked at the child wrong and the stroller didn't go flying far enough? Did your corporate airport beat the shit out of you today before you flew home? Did the corporates raise the fact that the water in Michigan was poisoned? Did they alert anybody or did they tell nobody? No, they kept that a secret. A lot of people made money on that deal. How many people went to jail? Question mark. How many people went to jail with the Wells Fargo? I see Wells Fargo banks are still open. No, instead they gave themselves a raise, and a few people got their hands slapped. They're quietly faded to the dark now, but the Wells Fargo family still gets their dirty little money. So see, Donald Trump is trying to wake everybody up that these corporations are not in control. He wants women like you and me to have businesses. He wants our children to have an education. Because guess what? As we get older as a generation, the generation behind us are going to be the ones running the world and taking care of us. Do you think they're going to give a shit if your airway tube is clean? No, they'll be taking a picture of their dinner instead. Or crying and moaning at the fact that their welfare got taken away while they have a part-time job and doing drugs and amounting to nothing in life. Because Obama has made it to the point we are complicit now. The nation is complicit. The companies are complicit with handing us more drugs, more bullshit, more lies, and we keep eating it up like Oliver. I'm not Oliver, and I'm not eating up the network bullshit. But what I am going to tell you is that Donald Trump has got to have more people stand behind him. Because once you understand what he is really trying to do, is just deliver us from a bunch of fucking heads who have taken us down to nothing more than a joke. We need to stand up as America and let everybody see us as a nation. What we stand for and how we stand. We stand divided, then we will fall. If we stand united, then we will stand tall. But as for all you people who think Donald Trump hasn't done a damn thing, in his 10 days he has done more than Barack Obama has ever done. He has done more than Bush has ever done. He has done more than Clinton has ever done. Do you see a pattern here? I do. Donald Trump is the president for a reason. Because he believes in us. He doesn't believe in big business, and he doesn't believe in big corporations walking over the little man or the little woman. He wants the battlefield to be fair. And I happen to agree with him. And that's why I voted for the man. Because he believes in our women, and he knows us women are strong when we stand together. And we as women need to support Donald Trump. Look, he's a billionaire. Some of us are holding how many jobs?